My name is Ashley Flores, and this is my presentation on Chelsea O'Neill for Women in American History. The presentation is titled Chelsea O'Neill, Woman Performer Activist Friend. Chelsea's life. Chelsea was born August 8, 1989 in Palm Springs, California. She grew up in a blended family with her younger brother. Her parents have always been very politically conscious and raised her in a household that taught her to be socially aware. Chelsea is one of my oldest friends. We've been friends since the third grade. In the early 2000s, Chelsea's parents took us to many political events and protests, which opened her eyes to some of the problems in the world and our individual role in helping to change them. This picture on the right is actually a picture of me, Chelsea, her brother, and her mom at a peace demonstration before the Iraq War in 2003. Her own personal type of activism is through her performance art. She calls it an opportunity to give voice to my values. She had a spiritual awakening in 2010, which changed her long-held atheism. She became aware of her effect on the world and the deep bond we all share as spiritual beings. In 2011, she met her future business partner and best friend, Jenna, who taught her to express herself through dance and performance and circus arts. This has continued to be her path ever since, from starting her own performance troupe to teaching classes for children. This has enabled her to explore the country and travel, a lifelong dream of hers. Her history. Chelsea and some of her close friends started a performance troupe called Flowbox in 2012. They are a group of friends and artists who were discovering and learning about different types of performance arts, such as circus arts, stilt walking, dance, fire hooping, hula hooping, aerial silks, and more. This came at a pivotal time in her life, shortly after a spiritual awakening, a so-called lifting of the veil, she calls it. Growing up in a blended and non-traditional family, she considers herself rather open-minded, but now even more so. She has spent the last near decade learning about herself spiritually and performing as an expression of her voice and herself. This picture on the left is Chelsea and I at a pro-choice vigil. We were 14. Her history continued. Her performance troupe opened a warehouse to live and train in around 2011. They began to offer community classes for children and adults, in between performance at music festivals and all kinds of events. This gave Chelsea a sense of satisfaction and joy. She has loved dance and movement since she was very young. She could finally give this back to children in the community. In 2006, she had finally saved up enough from her performances and her day job as a waitress to purchase an RV and travel the country. This was a lifelong dream for her. Now back in the desert, Chelsea still performs and has begun to teach aerial silk classes in her backyard. She often expresses the joy she finds in helping others discover a sense of freedom within themselves. These pictures on the left, the top is her troupe, Flowbox. She's the female in red right there on the right of the picture. And then on the bottom left is her teaching a community class to children in circus arts. Life themes. Chelsea has led a very unusual and interesting life. She has managed to take something she has always had a love and passion for and turn it into a career and a lifestyle. Her life has been rich in themes of political activism since a small child. We were featured in photos in the local papers several times in middle and high school for being involved in activism. Chelsea has always wanted to make an impact on the world, although it might not always be seen as socially acceptable. This has never stopped her. She has a very exoticized career working in the performing arts. Many people may try to label her as all sorts of things, but Chelsea has never been fond of labels. She is a spiritual being who finds joy in her art. This is a picture of her on the right in her backyard today, recently, doing her aerial silks. Her impact and her legacy. Chelsea and I have been best friends since we were 8 years old. She has always been so outgoing and carefree, and I've always admired that in her. She has taught me to be unapologetic, fearless, and love who I am. Her experiences have shown me that one doesn't have to fit into a mold, either as a woman or a person. She is truly fearless. We as women do not have to fit ourselves into just one thing. We can do what we love and make a difference at the same time.